would you tell aspiring writers? Because it's clear that you've had a great relationship with your own writing group. What would you tell people?
First of all, we're discouraged by rejection. Rejection is a part of the process for all of us. When writers get together, part of what we share are the horror stories of the early years in trying to make it. And I'm not sure that, I'm wondering if you got there too quickly and too easily, if we would all take you seriously. So, rejection is a part of the process, and it's just fine. Don't let it discourage you. Perseverance is such an important part of what we do. When writers come into my classes or my workshops, one of the questions I ask them is, why are you here? And if anybody tells me it's because they want to be rich and famous, or even if they really want badly to be published, I have to be frank with them and say, in all probability, you're going to be disappointed. It's a tough business. If that's why you're here, probably you're going to be disappointed. But if you're here because writing is what you love to do, it's your passion, it's what gives you energy, then you're going to have an entirely different experience. Because if you're writing out of love, then every day when you sit down, you're doing something that you love. And I also tell them this. I firmly believe that if you're writing because it's what you love to do, and you persevere, eventually you're going to reach that place you want to be.
Which I think is really important, because everybody's always thinking of the end result. Sometimes the journey is just as interesting.
Yeah.
And I've heard that from so many authors. You reach a certain level and you have to hit that note all the time. And sometimes they say, I remember the years where it was just, let's go get published. That would be good. Now, you mentioned Tony Hillerman has been an influence on your work. Is there anyone else along the way that was a big influence for you?
Oh, this is going to sound so pompous, but yeah, Hemingway, Steinbeck, Fitzgerald. Hemingway because his prose was so dynamic.
And Sense of Place.
Well, Sense of Place too, but I was going to go Steinbeck with Sense of Place.
Oh, okay. Steinbeck, Sense of Place. Okay, we stopped with Hemingway.
Because I loved the Salinas Valley settings for his work, which just marvelous evocation of place. And Fitzgerald, of course, because he's a native son of Minnesota, and he's so elegant in his writing, and so perceptive in his creation of characters. But lots and lots of other authors along the way as well.
And do you read now? Do you read in your genre now, or
I read
reading like?
I read in my genre for a number of reasons. One, it's my preferred choice of reading material anyway. I love mysteries. I absolutely love mysteries. Mysteries, I think mysteries are intelligent people's reads. Because they require you to do an enormous amount of thinking. If you like a good mainstream novel anyway, a good mystery is going to give you everything a mainstream novel would give you. A profound sense of place, we just talked about that.
Right.
Complicated characters involved in complicated, complex relationships, dialogue that sings, powerful writing, and then it also presents readers with this puzzle that has to keep intelligent people guessing throughout the course of the work, and at the end come together in a way that's logical and satisfying. So I enjoy reading mysteries for that reason. I also read mysteries because I want to know what the competition is up there.
Right.
And here's the real basic level. I read mysteries because I often go to conferences and other places where there are other mystery writers present. And it's very embarrassing for another mystery writer, to come up and say, I really love your work. And you have to go, well, I've heard you're good too.
Yeah.
So
it's something you can't fake.
Oh, exactly.
You cannot fake that you have, especially when you say, that series is really well and it's the standalone. You never want to be in that position.
But I have to say, the other thing, when I'm reading outside the genre, I very often will read Midwest writers. Marilyn Robinson, Kent Krueger, in my neck of the woods, John Hassler, because I think that there's a Midwest sensibility in the writing that comes out of the Midwest that's just, it's elegant, it's fair, and so connected to the land, and I so identify with that.
And that's really interesting, because everybody always talks about Southern writers.
I know.
So it's really interesting to hear that you're feeling that same feeling about the Midwest. When you read mysteries, do you read them differently now? Do you say, I think this is the setup that's happening here? I mean, my husband tells me I'm terrible to watch movies and television with, because I always guess what's going to happen.
I can tell if I'm reading a book that I'm going to absolutely love because I turn my editor off. I really turn my editor off. And I'm not making the kinds of judgments that typically I make when I'm reading anybody's book anymore.
on his journey together again for this next book?
Well, Heaven's Keep will be out September 1 of 2009, and I'm very, very happy with that book. I'm very pleased with the direction it will take Cork ultimately. The book I'm working on now, a book called Vermilion Drift, picks up Cork's life back in Aurora, and it's my first serial killer novel.
Wow.
But with a very interesting twist that I will go into now. And I'm looking very much forward to aging Cork appropriately and to exploring how his relationships, particularly with his children who've kind of gone off on their own, will proceed. I'm interested in discovering who Cork's going to become. And that's what I hope will keep me compelled to write the series for a number of more books, is just figuring out where the hell Cork's going with his life.
And it's nice to know you don't know yet, so you're going to be just surprised with the rest of us.
Yeah. And if readers have any suggestions, they're welcome to send it to me.
The email address is right on your website. Feel free to drop ideas along the way. Great. Well, thank you.